All right, in the buzz right now, an 18-year-old Kansas high school senior says Governor Sam Brownback should not expect an apology from her anytime soon. Emma Sullivan was on a field trip recently listening to the governor speak when she posted a message on Twitter.
I tweeted, just made mean comments to Gov Brownback and told him he sucked in person.
Well, of course, she did not actually say anything to the governor in person, but the tweet caught the attention of his staffers. They sent a letter to Sullivan's school demanding an apology. Sullivan and her mom say they will not be issuing one. The question for you on ABC 15 Now is pretty simple. How would you feel if your daughter or son did this on a field trip? Would you want him or her to say that they're sorry? Or what consequences, if any, would your child face at home? I, for one, would be ecstatic that my child was taking part in some kind of feedback involving government.
Absolutely. I would not be mad at all. This is her First Amendment right. She has every right to express her displeasure. If it were my daughter, and I have a teenage daughter, I would encourage her to expand her vocabulary, maybe use some different words. But, you know, if she's not happy with his policies, she has every right to criticize him. And to have a teenager in high school sounding off on this, I think, is outstanding. Also, has anybody listened to the GOP candidates whenever they talk back and forth and mudsling back and forth at each other? This is nothing compared to what the adults are tweeting out and saying in these GOP debates. I, for one, I applaud the girl for having some kind of feedback involving her own government. Absolutely. I can understand if she had sent out a tweet and there was a hashtag referencing her school. Then I can see why the school would be upset. But the school should not be coming to her. This was not a school account that she used. And I think the governor's office right now is probably pretty embarrassed and wishing that they hadn't said anything at all and just ignored the tweet. Well, as an elected, I'm not an elected official, but dealing with elected officials over the years, both of us have so many times. I think that a high schooler is probably the least of their concern. Yeah, exactly. And to send staffers over there to search out who sent the tweet and demand an apology, I'm beyond shocked. It makes them look like the big bad government. That's true. And I think that, again, I think they're really wishing they didn't do this. Yeah, and I want to know what the moms and the dads and the viewers out there think about this. We have several people sounding off. Terry Foley Schwartz writes, "There's no way I'd make my child apologize. It was her opinion, and she's entitled to it. Is this really any different than what goes on during a presidential election?" That's something that you touched on, Chris. There you go. And Caleb writes in also, "If you have nothing good to say about someone, don't say it at all." Brandy Sanchez chimes in saying, "It's called freedom of speech. Grow a backbone, Mr. Governor. Not everyone has to like you." Kylea writes in, I hope I pronounce your name properly there, "All of us are entitled to our own opinions, but the respect should still be there because public officials, including politicians, do have tough jobs." And yes, they do. I agree with you on that. I think she could have expressed her displeasure with him in a more mature manner. But again, she's a teenager. She's a teenager talking about her governor. I think that's wonderful. She has an interest, and that's what we need to applaud her for.